everyone, it's Matt the Dice Chucker from the Literary Gamers coming to you with another board game review. Today we're taking a look at Ghosts Love Candy 2. This is published by 25th Century Games, and it's designed by Danny Devine. First we're going to take a look at how it plays, then we're going to come back up and hear my thoughts and tell you everything. Alright, see you soon.
Alright, I'm interrupting this video because I heard a dirty rumor that over 80% of you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. What's holding you back? There's a tiny little red button underneath this video that says subscribe, and then there's a tiny little bell where you'll get a notification on your devices that tells you when you should be watching our videos. And if you watch our videos and subscribe, then you'll be kept up with all the content. Do all the things. I can't list them off because there's so many things. Just go and do the things. Alright, bye.
So here we have a game of Ghosts Love Candy 2 set up for 2 players. I have it set up for standard play, but I'll talk about the differences with 2 players in just a bit. At the beginning of the game, first off, everyone's going to draw a number of treats based off of a table. That's right here. So for 2 players, you would draw 6. You're going to keep 3 and discard 3. You're taking treats out of here. And this is, of course, after you've received your player aid. Each player aid is different because on the back are the candies your ghost is looking for. All right, I have them face up here for the sake of demonstration, but each one is different. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to be drawing candies, treats. So I will candy corn, gummy bear, peppermints, 5-pointer, a gummy bear, and I got junk. Now, we will pick 3 of these, and I'm going to look here. Of course, I want the peppermint. I'm probably going to want the gummy, and I'll take the 5-pointer, and everything else goes away. I am going to check here just to make sure that when you draw junk, does it stay in front of you? Yes. And you can, doesn't stay in front of you. You can discard it. But anyway, you'll notice also that the kids in the line have treats on them as well. So how the game is played, first thing you do is you're going to choose a ghost card from your deck. I have Rowdy right here. And of course I have no peppermints out there, so I don't really need to go first. There's a gummy bear though, so maybe if I play my 6, I'll be fine. And at the same time, the green player is looking and seeing what they want. They of course want candy corn, so they want to go first. Alright, so what happens now is this determines the turn order. So, McSpooky played a 9, so he's going to go first, and he's going to choose one of the kids to haunt. So he's going to haunt the pirate because he's got the candy corn. So he takes the candy corn into his stash, and if there was more than one, it'd take all of it. Then you see if the value of McSpooky is greater than or equal to the pirate's value. All right. And then if you exceeded that value, you take the pirate into your stash for scoring later. You also need to check on some of these kids if they have abilities that would click in based on when you played it. So for the pirate, before you take treats, you may take all the treats from any kid in the neighborhood instead of from the pirate. Well, I wanted the candy corn, so I'm going to keep him there. At the end of the game, he's worth -2 points if he's in your stash. But that's the kind of risk you're going to have to take in some cases. For example, here, the spider, each spider ring in your stash is worth 3 points instead of -1. And the spider rings are part of junk. All right, so those are all -1 to begin with. So then Rowdy would go. And then Rowdy would, let's say, goes to the ghost hunter. Move the lowest value ghost that is haunting another kid to the ghost hunter as the last card. You decide ties. So that's the ability of that one. When you have one that has more than one piece of candy, you take both of it, all right, and put it into your stash. Now, in a 2-player game, what's different is you're also going to take 2 sets of cards. Like, this would be orange and yellow, and that would be green and black. And you'd play 4 cards, and that way the candy gets flowing. All right, so you're going to do this until you've played all 9 of your cards. And then you're going to calculate your points based on your candy preferences, and then see if you have any kids that have endgame scoring. And that's pretty much how you play Ghosts Love Candy 2. this is a huge deck of kids. So you've got all sorts of things in here, from the unicorn. If it's in your stash, you earn 1 point for each different type of candy you have at the end of the game. The princess is worth 5 points in your stash instead of -2. What else did we have here that was neat? Romeo. I mean, here's one of the things though. Romeo's worth 10 points in your stash instead of -2. If Juliet is in the neighborhood, discard or any other player's stash at the end of the game. So when you're collecting some of them that have to match others, you're taking a bit of a risk. But anyway, yes, we have tons of different cards for the kids that can come out, and like I said, all different ways they score. Some of them are just a straight -2. Some of them are completely different. Either way, that's how you're going to play Ghosts Love Candy 2. So that is Ghosts Love Candy 2. Once again, this is from 25th Century Games and designed by Danny Devine. You know, when Jen and I were looking through games that we wanted to play in October with spooky themes and or Halloween-esque themes, not many of them were geared towards kids. And I can definitely see kids liking this one. Do we have any ages here? So 8+, I would say that's about right. And not only that, but to have a game dynamic enough and interesting enough to hold attentions for kids would be great. Of course, it's difficult for someone to hold their attention in a standard game of, let's say, Arkham or Eldritch Horror to begin with, but this is a really nice, and I mean everyone there. This is a nice little, I want to say there's some bluffing in it, because you also want to make sure, because the candy values aren't seen; those are face down. You don't play them face up. I did that for the sake of example, but you're trying to figure out, you know, what candy do I want? How do I want to play this? If I take too much of a certain candy, it's obvious. It's got that Libertalia ship shape type of game going on here. And I really do like what's going on with that, you know, playing a card simultaneous play, taking the candy. The costumes are all themed fantastically. And huge credit to 25th Century Games and Danny Devine for the amount of cards that are in this game for the different costumes. The rulebook is all the way over there, or else I'd tell you how many kids are in the base game. First off, thank you to 25th Century for sending this game to us, and you sent a lot of promos as well, and we appreciate that. So, how am I evaluating this game? First off, I'm keeping it in the mindset that this is most likely a game geared towards kids and their families. This is a family weight game. I would also say that I would consider this a welcoming game, even for Halloween. If you're not into board gaming yet and you're being flooded with all this information, and it happens to be Halloween, go for it. Ghosts Love Candy 2 is just a charming little game. The rulebook, top notch, was able to read it far from the game and understand how it plays. I'm wondering if I have any negatives to the game, and I'm not sure that I do. I didn't mind the 2-player rules, that we had to play with 2 different types of ghosts, but we were still collecting candy in the one bin. That I didn't mind. Sometimes 2-player rules in games like this can be a little out there and difficult to handle. You know, if your game is designed for 3, design it for 3. Don't design it for 2 just to make 2-player gamers happy. Okay? If it's for 3, then it's for 3. There's a few like that. Anyway, thematically, the game is really nice. The idea that you're scaring kids while they're out trick-or-treating to steal their candy, because, once again, Ghosts Love Candy 2. I believe this is a reprint or an updated version of Ghosts Love Candy, which was originally a Steve Jackson Games design. And from what I understand, if you go to 25th Century's website, there's a roll and write version of it that you can print out. Let's see, how many players does it go to? 6. I would say that's perfect. Once again, because everyone is playing simultaneously, I think that wouldn't slow anything down. It'd be the same amount of time that Jen and I spent on it, and if we had everyone playing it. So, if you're looking for something spooky, I do apologize that this review is coming out on November 2nd. It should have been out much earlier. Looking for something spooky, or if you're still in that Halloween spirit, check out Ghosts Love Candy 2. I don't think you'll be disappointed. A very, very charming family weight game from 25th Century and Danny Devine. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably keeping in the mindset that this is a family game, I would actually give this an 8, especially if it's a game that you're only going to pull out during Halloween. So this is always something that's a nice welcome addition to keep going back to. Those are my thoughts. And if you have any thoughts on Ghost Love Candy 2, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you listen to The Pirate. And we'll see you next time, folks, everybody. Bye.